How can two albums that went gold be considered in the Forgotten Albums series? We're going to try to explain that here in today's episode.
Hey everybody, Lorraine Lewis here from Vixen, and you are watching the Clash Course Metal Show with Trevor Knight, who I gotta tell you, he really knows his rock and roll and his metal. So check it out.
Episode in the Forgotten Album series. This is 1990 part 2, I believe. So we got some different ones here and all good ones still. Very good. But we are going to jump in here too. We're going to jump across the pond here first, and we're going to go with 1990s London Choir Boys. A bit of what you fancy.
Hell yeah.
Yes. The Choir Boys is what they ended up becoming known as. They ended up dropping the London in their name. I forget the reasons why that was, but nonetheless, still the same band, still the same guys. But yeah, this is a personal favorite of mine. I had this ever since I had pretty much all these three when I was in high school, and which was roughly 15 years ago now.
What?
But I had this one, and this is one that really grew on me over time. Now, my dad, he introduced me to the Choir Boys, and like he's a Rod Stewart fan, and like that kind of style of rock, and he had this when it came out in 1990. And so, like when I was younger, I was always like, "Hey, do you remember any bands?" Obviously, like then at when you were growing up, like what did you buy and stuff like that. And then at some point when I turned early in my teenage years, I ended up buying and having and knowing more bands than he ever bought, when he was younger. So certainly at some point that changed, but this is one that I gotta give him props to. But Spike and the Boys, so like I said, this is a very 80s. So obviously you think of Rod Stewart from the 70s, that sound, but just imagine kind of that but more of an 80s hair metal, I guess, if you will. Just that kind of style, hard rock and metal, and that's what you get here with the London Choir Boys or Choir Boys. And Spike has that same kind of rasp. Now, I will say Spike does have a very some people love it, some people hate it. I happen to love it. Spike's great. He's like he's like a top 3 rock star for me. Like he's what you expect when you think of rock stars. But certainly I dig his voice. I like guys, even the modern stuff from the Choir Boys. Like I don't think they put out really a bad release at all overall. And Spike, he just keeps he did like a Christmas song or a Christmas single like a year ago, and it was really good. Like I dug that. Like there's not much that the boys do wrong, and just big fan in general. But let's talk about a bit of what you fancy. Now, I did say it did go gold in the UK. Now, not necessarily in America, but it did reach the US Top 200 Billboard chart at 110 or 111, and it did go number 2 in the UK on the Billboard chart. But yeah, I mean, it's like they had 4 singles off of this album, and that is 7 O'Clock, Hey You, I Don't Love You Anymore, and There She Goes Again. Now, all 4 songs are really good. Not necessarily because like I love this whole album, but I will say one of them may be in the top 3 of the. God, that's just a hard question. I don't know if I can answer that, but I will say the Choir Boys may have had like a little bit of a resurgence here recently because of the show The Peacemaker with John Cena. Good series. It only has 1 season right now, but they are going to be making more seasons, what I hear. But James Gunn, the producer or whatever, one of the main guys that does the show, he loves like the hair metal, the sleaze metals type deal. And when John Cena was one of like the opening episodes, there's a scene where he plays "I Don't Love You Anymore," and it's like funny as hell. It's like one of the most iconic scenes of the first season. And and when I seen it, I was like, "Oh shit!" They showed Cinderella Night songs, the album, and then they end up showing, London Choir Boys and playing the songs. So like that was awesome for me. Because I will say, Choir Boys probably are certainly a top five band for me. That's how much they grew over time. Because I will say, when I first bought this, I only liked a couple songs off of it. But that was my younger days, and as you grow older, your tastes change and expand a little bit more. And I absolutely love the style of this, English uh hair metal, if you will, or whatever, pub metal, bar metal. It's just fun shit here. And if anyone knows like Dogs D'Amour, the pretty similar style, if you will. I would say Dogs D'Amour is probably just like slightly dirtier, dirtier style, to their style and music. But yeah, I mean, all four of the singles that I mentioned were did pretty well on the charts. And I mean, you got here, you know, Whippin' Boy, I will say, Whippin' Boy is one that I did always like, but I mean, I still like it, but it's one that I find me visiting less as time goes on compared to the other songs. I don't know, it has more of a serious tone, and a slower tempo, but still really good nonetheless. Yeah, the ballad "I Don't Love You Anymore." A lot of people like that song. I love it. Hey You's fun. Misled. Long time coming. Roses and Rings. There she goes again. Another fun one. But I think my favorite song though is "Take Me Home," and it's a great album closer, which you do have 12 tracks, and this is an album that I will say is pretty strong with 12 tracks. And that is a negative here on the channel when an album has more than like 10 or 11 tracks, because it just, for someone listening to the album, the attention span, you need it to grow that much more. But it works sometimes it works, and here for me, 12 tracks is fine on this album. I dig it. But guys, check out the Choir Boys and all their stuff, but certainly a bit of what you fancy. Very good. They did release an album in '93. Uh, really good, really good. I enjoy that as well, but I will say it's not as good. Uh, bittersweet and uh, twisted. I think it is, and I like it. I like it a lot, actually. There for a while, it was going back and forth between the two, but over the last couple years, I would say this certainly, you know, beat it out uh, a lot. But I mean, I enjoy it. It's one that kind of it gets overlooked. I mean, like I said, the Peacemaker kind of helped that out recently, bringing it, seems like, kind of back into the forefront. Especially "I Don't Love You Anymore." The ballad brought that back out. But good stuff nonetheless. I'm excited for the Choir Boys to release some new stuff, the Spike version, because they had some kind of a issue. I don't want to get into it here, but they had some kind of issue. So now it's like two Choir Boys going on, and I don't know. It's How can you have the Choir Boys without Spike? That's I don't understand that. He's been like the only member throughout the whole tenure, and it's crazy to me.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Check out a little bit of What You Fancy from 1990. I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if you like that English style of rock and metal. Alrighty, so another one of our choices for 1990, we have London's Playa del Ryan. Now, this here is a decreased version, I guess. I forget the reason why it was London So some of these are London and some of them are Priest, but this is a promotional copy here. And Nader was kind enough to sign this copy. Very cool. Nadir, cool guy. Hopefully we can get him back on the channel again here soon. See what's going on with him. Haven't talked to him for a little while. This is London's third album in their catalog. And this is coming off of the Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. If anyone's familiar with that movie, great movie. Certainly I have gripes about that movie because of how it's skewed, like how it's portrayed. Now granted, I wasn't living there in LA during that scene or anything, or even living during the time, but it's just very, it paints a certain picture deliberately, and I kind of, have my thoughts on that. But as just if you go into it with that mindset, an open mind, like it's a great movie. It's awesome. Documentary, I guess. But yeah. And Nadir plays a big one of the bigger parts in the documentary.
We are not role models for your life.
Him in London. And just good stuff. And one of the songs that London uses for uh in that documentary is the Russian Winter, which we finally get on this album. So Playa del Rock does come out at the end of 1990 in December. You had Nadir Priest on vocals, Sean on guitar, Brian on bass, Alan on drums, Vincent on keyboards. You do have some musical guests coming in here too, a couple of them, but you do get 10 tracks. Other than Russian Winter, I'm not sure what the other single was on here. I can't remember. I don't know if it was Ride You Through the Night or It's So Easy. Can't remember. But this is a great album. This is really good. I do like Don't Cry Wolf, which came out previously from London, which is really good, but a little bit more raw. This is more a little bit better produced, I would say. There's some good songwriting. It's a little more mature, I guess is a good way to put it. But like I said, it came out at the end of 1990, and at that point, it's just kind of too late for anyone, even if you are seasoned veterans like London, which, London gets the rap too. Like, they had a lot of members come in and go create other bands, and they called London like the training, like the train band for rock stars, because you had like Blackie Lawless in there near early on. You had Fred Curry in there, you had Nikki Sixx in there, you had a lot of different guys that went on to do other things, and Nadir stuck it out, and I gotta give him credit, man. It's great stuff, a great catalog as well, overall. But some of my favorites on here, like I said, the first three is very, very good. Ride You Through the Night, Russian Winter, It's So Easy. And then you have a couple ballads here, Miss You, and then at the end, Been Around Before, I would say I consider a ballad, but very good. I love it. And then you got a cover here, Hot Child in the City. And now my dad does say he likes the original better, but I always stand on the side of London here, that I can listen to that cover. I'm not usually a big fan of covers, but this works on this album. I like it. I like, London's style and output for this song, their version. But yeah, I mean, Money Honey, it's not the best song, but I like it. In the context of the album, it's more fun. It's not kind of what you would expect from London, if you will. Very good. I like this album because it does give you a little bit of variety. There's hard stuff on here. There's softer stuff like ballads and such like that. And you just get some fun songs along the way. Different stuff. And then one of the better songs that I hear no one talking about, Heartbeat. That is really good. That's actually one of the songs on my phone for an alarm to wake up to. And I don't know why no one talks about that song. That song is really, really good. Probably my favorite song on here I don't know. That's tough. That's tough because this is such a good album. And, if you like that style of Decline of Western Civilization, like that kind of. Now, it's not raw like their earlier stuff, but it's, like I said, it's more mature and very good. Has the harder stuff, but also has some variety for you as well. Really good. I like it a lot. I mean, it's one when people talk about London, I don't hear it and I don't get it. I don't get why people don't talk about this a little bit more. I know it's hard to find, and I remember Nader was talking about reissuing it. I don't know if he ended up doing that yet because it's been like a year or two since I talked to him, and I haven't seen it, yet. But I will put the link to DePriest's eBay store where he sells a couple or reissues on vinyl and on CD of some of London's releases. So I will put that in the description below. Check it out. Very cool. He'll sign it for you too and stuff like that. Whatever you want. So very cool. But I don't know. Cross your fingers. I don't know. I haven't heard nothing on a reissue yet on this Playa del Rock. But guys, check it out, please. Like I said, Heartbeat, check that out, and then Russian Winter, really good, really good. All right, so our final choice today is going to be 1990s Rat Detonator. This is one of those like from the intro. How can Rat have a forgotten album or because it did go gold? It did go gold actually, but it's just obviously when you're talking about Rat multi-platinum albums all throughout the 80s and this only went gold, so, like, people kinda shunned away from it a little bit, and it's one that doesn't really get talked about, and that's one of the things why I wanted to talk about this on the Forgotten Albums series, because a lot of people, when I bring it up, people either don't like it or just don't really know much about it, as far as song-wise and the catalog on the album here. But you got 11 tracks here. One is an intro, uh, you know, like the intro to Shame, Shame, Shame or War and D. But I don't know. It's one of those, you only had two singles off of this. Uh Loving You's a Dirty Job, which is great. Great song. And then Shame, 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 which is another great Rat song. One of the things that I hear that kinda irks me a little bit is critics or people say why they don't like the sound is because it's real poppy, which, okay, I get that. But then you turn around, like, either Reach for the Sky or something similar, and I'm like, there's more poppy stuff on Reach for the Sky than anything on Detonator, especially I Want a Woman, which was one of the singles on Reach for the Sky. That's way more poppy than anything on here on Detonator. And the reason why I think I really like Detonator a lot though is because Brett and Warren in particular started going really bluesy, and you hear that in the intro to Shame, Shame, Shame. You hear it in Shame. You hear it in a good amount of songs here. I love it. I love it a lot. Even the artwork's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. I don't get why people don't like it. I mean, like I said, the singles were great. One Step Away is melodic. Don't get me wrong. It is a little poppy. Okay. Hard Time. Great lyrics. Great kind of like Stephen Pierce doing a little bit of a rappy type deal in that song. Really good. Got Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, cool. All or Nothing's good. Can't Wait on Love's another little poppy on that poppy side, but still nothing probably as poppy as I Want a Woman. That, like I said, that's probably like to me feels really a lot more popular than anything on here. And then Giving Yourself Away is the only ballad that Rat did ever, I think. And I like it. I mean, sometimes it does get skipped. I mean, it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not like a top 50 ballad for me or anything like that, but it's good. I mean, it's a great effort. It's a good effort, and I appreciate it. And then you finish off track number 11, Top Secret, which is just okay. That's probably actually that's probably the weak song on here that I don't really care for. But other than that, strong album. You got 42 minutes here. And I think another reason why this only went gold is because I think Rat didn't even do the whole tour on this, and it just didn't was like no support at all. And then obviously infighting as well. There was a lot of that going on. But it's weird because like this was released early enough. It was like in August or about the middle of the year of 1990, which you still had some play. You still had some running room as an established band like Rat, of all bands here, to be able to sell, just print platinum albums here. And I don't know if it was because of the weakness of Reach for the Sky, like were people just not in favor of Reach for the Sky, even though that did go platinum, but it was the worst selling album up until this point. And I don't know, were people just shunned away? Because 1990 is a great year for a lot of new bands and also just great releases too. So like Rat were kind of somewhat older at that point compared to like the newer bands like Firehouse, Nelson, shit like that. Spread Eagle here in a year or so, and or the same year actually, 1990, and it you got some of the younger crowd, the sleazier stuff coming up. So did that kind of hurt as well? Like I think it was just a perfect storm of everything going against Rat here, but I think they put out a superb album here. But no, check out Rat, Detonator. Good stuff. Like I said, other than the two singles, Shame, 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 and Love and Use a Dirty Job, please check them out. Great guitar work all the way around on those songs, and great guitar work all the way around the whole album. But other than that, you got to go with Hard Time, All or Nothing, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose. It's hard to pick a bad. It's hard to pick the best song on this album. I love them all, pretty much except Top Secret. I could discard that one probably, but no, really good stuff. Really really good. And John Bon Jovi actually does a backing vocal on Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, which is very surprising, because how I feel about Bon Jovi on this channel. But he sounds okay on this song. But nonetheless, check it out, guys. 1990s Detonator, very good, very overlooked as well, and hate on for some reason, and I don't know why. But guys, we got Rat, Detonator, one of the choices here for forgotten albums. And we got The Priest or London. Playa del Rock. Very good, very good. And then we got The Choir Boys from 1990 as well. A little bit of What You Fancy. Got some of that English rock and roll here. Hard rock. Very good stuff. Like I said, Spike is an acquired taste. Spike's vocals. And but not if you do like that style, I'm sure you'll love this. Very, very good. One that always kept growing on me since I was young, and one of my favorites, all-time favorites now today. So, guys, check out those albums. And that kind of wraps it up here, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Leave me a comment. Which one of these is your favorite albums, and what do you like on that album as well, if you do have a favorite here. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up, like I said. And click the like, click the subscribe, hang out with us a little bit. We like keeping this style of the subgenre of metal alive. We love it here, and we wanted to come back, and that goes for all subgenres of metal. We're here to help push out the underground type stuff as well, because we're tired of hearing the same 5 songs on the radio, whether that be modern metal or classic metal. We're tired of hearing the same stuff over and over. But, guys, thank you for watching the Crash Course Metal Show. Stay out of that collateral damage. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.